What's up, my friends? Jon Levesque here, back with another tutorial, and today we are talking about Claude, the AI from Anthropic. Now, Claude has a lot of ground to cover. There is a web app, there is a mobile app, there is a desktop app, there is Claude Code. There is a lot to talk about, and so this video will be a little long. Make sure and check the description. I'll have all of the timestamps there so you can jump around, as well as some links to click to go deeper. And make sure to check out my community I just started. I got the link down below as well. Let's jump in. Okay, so I am here at Claude.ai, the website. Before I get started, let me tell you one thing. I have the Max plan. It is the most expensive plan, the $200 version. That is because I am using all of the tools every single day, as well as Claude Code, and I want the most Opus. And so Claude has different models. You can see here Sonnet and Opus. There are other models, older Sonnet, older Opus, Haiku. Don't even worry about those. Two you're going to use in Claude, Opus and Sonnet. And basically you're going to use Opus when you want to do deep thinking, things that take a lot of thought power. And Sonnet you want to do when you're going to implement things, when it doesn't require as much thought power and instead just requires doing. Now, you might use them differently, but that is how I break them down and how I decide how to use them. Okay? So, we're here on the Claude website. If you see something different, it might be because you don't have a paid plan, and so if you're on a free plan, it's definitely going to look different. But on the left-hand side here, we'll see a few things. There's chats, there's projects, there's artifacts. I have a few of my projects starred, and then I have all of my recent conversations. Here in the conversation panel, there's a few different things. There's obviously the chat area and the model picker, but there's also a place where we can upload files, add things from GitHub or Google Drive or from Notion. We can also use some of our various connections that we have, which I'll talk about in a second. We can turn on deep research. Oh, and let me point out one other thing here. You can also set styles or choose to use extended thinking. And so Claude will actually think out loud in front of you. I really like this because I can actually see how Claude is getting to its reasoning. And sometimes I can jump in before it makes a mistake. Like, hey, you're thinking about that wrong. Make sure you take this into consideration. And so we'll play around and we'll kind of see how some of that works. But let's go ahead and keep kind of going around the interface and looking, at the different various functionalities. And let me take you into the back end real fast. So if you click on your name in the bottom corner and you go here to settings, you'll have a whole new set of settings. Now, in your profile, you can set your name and your preferred name. You can set your work, right? And then you can also set personal preferences, which I highly recommend. Like, you can see here some of the things that I have done, right? I don't want Claude to just do what I ask. I kind of want it to challenge my thinking. I want it to help me make better points and not just, let me run with stupidity. But also, it's funny, when I put these two prompts in, Claude became kind of a dick. And so I had to put this prompt in to kind of make him, keep that in check. So, he pushes back when it's necessary and pushes back in a way that's not, inflammatory. Because if you just try these two, Claude really starts to push you on everything. I was like, hey, I want a local sandwich shop. And he was like, do you really want a sandwich, John? And I was like, wait a second, what? Why are you being... Anyways, coming down here, feature preview, you want AI-powered artifacts, you want analysis tool. Make sure both of these guys are turned on. They're going to add huge value. Appearance, I'm in dark mode for everything, so I just match the system. But now let's come down here to connectors. You can see here on the web, there is a whole set of connectors, right? Google Drive, Gmail, Calendar, GitHub. Now, Zapier MCP. MCP is something we'll probably talk about in a future chapter, but if you want to, you can go look that up. Zapier has an amazing MCP where you can connect in all of your tools, using Zapier's connectors, create an MCP server, feed that to Claude, and then Claude can reach into Zapier and utilize all of your connections, which is pretty badass. Future video, we'll talk more about that, but we definitely will use these today along our journey. And so, you can see here, they have a whole bunch that are standard. You can add custom ones, like my Zapier one here is a custom. This is how I did it. And then obviously I can just go ahead and, click and add any one of these as a connector. And then they're promoting Claude Code here, install instructions for Claude Code. Now, I will preface and say this, when we get to Claude Code, I won't show you how to install it. It's different if you're on Windows, Mac, or Linux. So me showing it won't really help you. I might make a video at some point on how to install it all on Mac, but most of my viewers, probably are on Windows. So I will put a link in the description of how to install Claude Code, but I will probably not talk about installation today. I'll just get to use. So now that we've kind of gone through everything, seen the connectors, appearance, personal preferences, let's go back to the main interface here, and let's start a new chat. And I need to find a few things for myself, actually, to kind of arm my Claude to do some work for me. So while we're here in Web Claude, I'll go ahead and just do some basic research because it's a great task for Web Claude, right? And so let me go ahead and form my prompt right here. I'll speed it up real fast and then we'll talk. Okay, so I put in my prompt. I need to find MCP servers that will help me with coding Angular, Node.js. Oh, and I misspelled PostgreSQL. And can you help me find the best MCP servers for these purposes? So all his tools are enabled. You can see I have 168 tools inside of Zapier, which is pretty sick. I'm not going to use a style right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn on research, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn on Opus. Now I have the smartest model, the deepest research thinking, extended thinking, web search, 100 and almost 200 tools for it to touch. And so now I can tell it to go. And so now it's going to go ahead and contemplate. You can see that contemplating standby. This is the extended thinking, right? It's showing me what it's thinking. And so now, before it digs in, it's going to clarify a few things. Okay, so it asked me what specific coding tasks am I looking for, and I'm looking for all of them. Am I looking for specialized servers for each one? I don't really care if it's one server for all or one server each. That doesn't matter. Current MCP setup, we're going to say none because I'm actually looking at this all for my CTO. Now, I have a couple MCP servers I've created just for my own knowledge to consume certain websites and feed that into Claude. I have not set up MCP servers for Claude Code. And so let me actually say that. Okay, so now we told it everything you wanted to know plus a little bit. Now it's going to go ahead and start running research. Okay, and so now it says, hey, will you let me use these tools while I go and do all this searching? Absolutely, I will. All right, and so now it starts researching. So you can see that it actually pulls out a plan into the canvas, and so you can see creating my research plan. Now, that's going to take anywhere from 15 minutes to 45 minutes, right? I could have done a simple search and probably gotten some results back, but I actually want to get a full in-depth study on this so that I'm getting the very, very best result. Also, I have the max plan, and so I have a lot more research capacity, and so instead of just simply searching, a lot of times I will get in-depth studies on things because it actually gives me a much bigger understanding. It'll give me the answer I'm looking for and a ton of context around it, which I love. All right, let's move on here and let's keep going through Claude Web. There's a couple very unique things that I love about it. Oh, you can see the research thing here is going. You can see, look, research plan created. You got all sorts of stuff going here. So like I said, we'll come back to that. Let's start a new chat. And let's tell Claude, I want to make an artifact app that translates Celsius to, nope, other way around. Other way around. Did I spell that wrong? Fahrenheit. No, I think it's right. Now, this is a silly example, but I just want to show you that you can tell Claude that you want to make an artifact app, okay? And he will help you do that. So I'm not going to write any code, right? My hands are going to be up here. Watch. I'm going to click this button. Now, he might come back and ask me a few clarifying questions. Maybe not, though. Maybe he's just going to pop out the artifact panel and start working. Let's see what happens. Here we go. You can see I haven't touched anything. I just asked him to make this artifact app. And so here's a couple cool things about this. This artifact app, I can publish it. I don't need to go and like host it. I can just publish it. And then anyone else who has a Claude account can use that link and use my app. Which, I mean, that's pretty cool. Now, keep in mind, this whole app has to fit within the Claude context window, okay? And so, like, if you make a lot of changes to this thing, you're going to run out of context. Okay, so Claude had a bit of a hiccup. I had him regenerate the app real fast. We're back. It's working. And so you just, like, watched in 2 seconds, right? Like, he generated a whole app that I can use right here. And look, and so, like, if I, what's the temperature in Fahrenheit? 90, right? 32.2. And so this is like super handy for me because like I have a co-founder in Portugal. And so I'm always like, oh my God, it's so hot today or whatever. He's like, oh my God, it's so hot today. And he tells me it's like 30. And I'm like, 30 is not hot. But then, you know, I mean, 30 is hot, right? Because 30 is fucking 86. That's pretty hot. And so now I could publish this, right? Right here. I could publish. And the link is copied. If not, I could copy the link. I could paste this. I could give this to anyone else. And anyone else who has a Claude account could then use my temperature converter. That took 2 seconds that I wrote no code for. That's a fully working freaking app. I mean, so these Claude artifacts, like if you can't tell, super cool, super powerful, makes it so easy for the common person to start prototyping and creating something. Because now I could go back and forth, right? I could tell Claude that I actually didn't like something about this or wanted to add something. Let's add a feels like. Now it's going to tell me like, oh, how are we going to know feels like? We'll need some API. We'll need this. We'll need that. Right? But it's going to come back probably with another set of questions. No, I made some assumptions. Okay. It just made a bunch of assumptions, actually. Didn't ask me anything additional. And now, look at calculate feels like. So if it is, 75 Fahrenheit, and it is, 60% humidity, how does it change? Where is the feels like? All right, well, anyways, so you see how it added a functionality here. It didn't ask the right questions to get the functionality to work right. But you see how quickly you could go back and forth and prototype with this to try and create something interesting. Now, artifacts are not going to give you like production ready apps, okay? This is for prototyping, this is for brainstorming, this is for creating quick things. The cool thing about artifacts is it's not just like apps, right? Artifacts can create other things. Like create me a quick 3-slide pitch deck pitching this tool in an artifact. Okay? And so now it's gonna probably, I don't know, let's see. I don't wanna assume. It's gonna probably assume some things. Maybe it'll ask me some questions. Look at his smartass response. Pitching a temperature converter takes some chutzpah. Ah, love that. I'm interested to see what it makes, honestly. I mean, sure, it's 95, but it feels like standing inside a wet oven set to destroy. Feels like temperature conversion that actually matters. Smart conversion, instant reality check, zero fluff. 8 billion people experience weather every single day. We can make temperature human again. Oh my god. I'm going to be honest. This thing will pitch better than some of you. Oh my god, dude. I mean, that's pretty good. That's like a pretty good fucking pitch deck. All right, all right, all right. Let's go check out our research. Research is still running. So you can see here it's gathered 327 sources. Like, what is MCP? How is it assisting AI? Claude can connect to these. Official Angular. Okay. So you can see it's gathering up a ton of info here for me, which is rad. Okay. I'm going to let that keep running, and we're going to change over to... Actually, let me go to projects real fast just to show you this. Projects in Claude work very similar to projects in ChatGPT. You create a new project. What is the project? We'll call it video creation. What am I trying to achieve? Teach people, right? Like this is, I mean, you would fill out shit better than this. You could then set some instructions. You are a YouTube video coach. You will help right? Just some basic instructions. Like, it's a video creation project. We obviously want to have a video creation expert AI helping us. So we put some framework, we put some success, right? We give it some instructions so it knows what to work towards. So now we save those instructions. Now we could go ahead and add some product knowledge, right? Like videos and things, because that's what we're doing here. And so, I could come through, find videos, upload all those videos. Now it has product knowledge. Now I can start to ask it questions about what I've built before, these other videos, these other transcripts, what I might want to build next, what I could, improve, etc., etc., etc. Now this project becomes a context house, right? Specific to what it is that you're working on. And so projects I always recommend. I try and use them a lot when I am doing a lot of thinking on a specific task. If I just one-off chats, random thing, I don't put it in projects. But if it's like my social media or my company or whatever, like, I do try and organize everything in projects so that way the context stacks, right? And what I will do is, because a project can only hold so much context, as I'm adding new things, I'm deleting the oldest things, right? Because the new context and the newest things carries forward, and we don't need that old stuff that got us here, right? And so don't be afraid to remove old context as you're creating new context, because you're always going to drive the AI forward with you that way. It won't get lost and stuck in things of the past, which is important. Okay, I think that's it for web. We have to come back to the research in a little while, but let's go ahead and move over to the app, which the app here looks pretty much the same. You're going to have artifacts, you're going to have projects, you're going to have chats. If we go into the settings, we'll see a lot of the same things. We'll see extensions. Now, what's interesting about this is Claude Desktop can actually touch my file system, my native notes app. It can even control my Mac with AppScript because I've given it permission. Okay, and so you can see there's a lot of different tools here for desktop extensions. We obviously still have access to the same web extensions, but there's a lot added here in desktop extensions. Also, there's this developer mode where you can load local MCP servers, right? And so I have gone ahead and created like my own like network effect MCP. Network effects is like a knowledge that I really need in the startup that I have built. And so I want that knowledge handy for my AI for whenever I'm having conversation with it. It has all that wealth of knowledge on tap and can push back or help guide me or help give me new points that I'm looking for. It's a super helpful way to give additional knowledge to your AI. It kind of is like stapling on additional shit to the brain. It's super helpful. So the one thing I wanted to show you here is because I have gone ahead now and given my Claude desktop all this access to my computer, to my calendar, to my MCPs, to my Mac, right? To a bunch of tools in my Mac. Because I have done this, I obviously have a certain level of trust. But more importantly, there's a big benefit, I believe, that comes out of this, where I can now go to my Claude desktop, right? And I can do what I am calling like a super prompt, okay? And so I have built this super prompt that I will share with you. If you join my community, I post all my prompts in my community. If you want to be brave and just watch this video and copy it all, you can totally do that too. But here's how it goes. Today I need my comprehensive intelligence briefing. And so it's today, right? And so it's a one day. I have done it on a week where it focuses on a whole week, but then you have to change the prompt, right? Because everything is focused on one day. So do calendar recon, do an inbox scan, do competitive intel on a couple other like experience providers. Show me market signals, do a Slack catch up, and give me strategic ammunition for based on everything else you found out about the day. Okay? So I'm going to run it in Opus 4. I'm going to give it extended thinking. And I'm going to say go. And so now it's going to come back and it's going to ask me for permission to use all the MCP servers. All right, so off it goes. Reading my email, right, as I told it to. Getting my calendar, right, all these things. Let's see how our research is doing. Hey, okay, research is done. So while that other report is done, let's come over here and check this out. So best MCP servers for full stack development with Angular, Node, and Postgres. So Angular development, Angular ecosystem is maturing. So there's the official Angular CLI MCP. Well, that seems like a no-brainer. Node.js, and so there's an official one as well over here. Okay, great. And then Postgres MCP Pro. Now, who is that from? Okay, so that's a third party, but whatever, that's fine. All right, and so then there's some here. AWS, Convex for full stack, setup considerations. Beautiful. This is beautiful. So now, this is an artifact, okay? This is a web page artifact. And so what I can do is I can publish this. I can copy the link. I can pull up my text, right, with my buddy Edgar. Where is he? And I can text him this link. Boom. And now he can go ahead and check out all of that research and benefit from my Claude Max subscription, right? So if you have friends that need information, you can just use this, send it to him. He doesn't even have to have an account. It's just now a web page connected to my account that he can go and read and consume, which is pretty freaking cool, right? Okay, so now that is running. Oh, did Claude fail? It looks like he spit my prompt back at me. Let's try it again. Okay, and so here we go. The report has delivered, and we can see it checks the calendar. Today I have a team co-work session. I also have a team meeting at night. I love it. It's like, oh, what's this? It could be potential team fatigue. Like, yeah. I gotcha. Like, we always have a Thursday night meeting. Settle down, Claude. A couple responses in my inbox. Odysser is like a YouTube tool I'm going to try out. John Russell's a dude I'm going to create some AI videos with, a good friend of mine. Super big on mental health. Super big techie guy. Awesome fucking human. Now, this is where it gets interesting, right? What are the opportunities? Like Figma AI features is now out of beta. That's pretty interesting, right? Lauren Parker Bookkeeper Services. I don't know what this is. This must come from my inbox. She must be trying to pitch me on something that I'm ignoring. The TLDR newsletter, I read that every day. Now, competitive intel. Check this out. Airbnb launches services. I knew that. Relaunched their app. Viator and Get Your Guide are battling. Huh? Interesting. Yelp's evolution. Creator economy exploding. Like, we knew that. That's not a surprise. And so, the cool part about this, right, is you get a daily report on everything that's going on in your life, right? I gave the AI fingers into everything I'm doing, but now I can pull intelligence out of all of it, right? And now I can create something like this, which would have taken me, 2-3 hours to go through all this stuff, like schedule, email, news items, competitive research, like all that shit. Like, dude, this prompt every single day is like saving me so much time. And here's what I love about this. Like, one question you should ask yourself, one opportunity you're missing, one way to leverage today, practical suggestions. Like, this shit is gold, right? This shit is gold. And so I think, obviously Claude Desktop can do a lot that Claude Web can do. But Claude Desktop can do some shit that Claude Web can't when it comes to being like local intelligence plugged into all your items. It has even more possibilities. And now, you know what's really crazy about this? Watch this. I could say, take this all and make it into an Apple Note. Let me pull my notes over. Let's see what it does. Boom. Okay, formatting sucks. Formatting there sucks. Oh, look at this. Reformatting, it just said. But it didn't work. Formatting is broken. So I said formatting is broken. Can you make it display nice? Let's see what it does. Okay, this is better, right? This is better. All right, and so now what's really cool about this, right, is if I go into my notes on my phone, there it is. Look, daily intelligence brief, right? And so now I can just take this with me all day long, all my meetings, all my intel, everything is there. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, that's a super useful use case for me. Like having all that intel as I go all day, knowing who I'm talking to, knowing what's on my calendar, knowing what emails I have to respond to, like understanding what's happening in the news with businesses in the space that I am hoping to be in. Uh it's a wild valuable thing for me. Okay. Now Claude Code. So as I said, I am not going to go and teach you how to install this. I will put some links in the description where you can find out how to install this. It is a little bit of a process. This is definitely the highest learning curve piece of Claude, but also this is the highest reward. This is how you build amazing things, okay? Now, I'm going to do a quick intro here, and I will probably come back in a follow-up video, and I will do a full Claude Code walkthrough where I actually, from zero to something, come up with an idea and create the entire thing. Okay? But for now, let's just do a quick intro on how this all works so you can see it in action. I won't actually complete anything today. I'll just give you the basics, okay? So for me, the way that this process works out is I first will go to GitHub, okay? The GitHub website. And so I will actually, hold on, that's the wrong browser. I need a different browser. Give me a second to find it. It's over on this window. And so I'll go to GitHub. I have a whole bunch of repositories, but I'll make a new one. We'll call this just test demo 1. Make it private. I'll create the repository. Now I'll come down here and I'll say setup in desktop. Now what this is going to do is it's going to create the folder for me on my local machine where GitHub and my computer will communicate through this GitHub desktop tool. Okay, and so I'll hit clone. It creates a brand new folder, test demo 1. I'm in the main branch and it's ready to publish. Okay, and so now here I am, like it's all connected. I can just go ahead and close this. Now I'm going to do a set of commands here, which, you know, again, if you're on Windows or whatever, this is going to be different. And so just keep that in mind. All right, so I did a CD all the way to the test demo folder. Now Claude is already installed on my machine, so I can now call Claude from this folder. And now Claude Code essentially comes to life, living inside of this folder. Okay? And so now Claude the AI is suddenly a part of my project. Okay, right now the project has no files, but that's okay. Because what we're going to do is we're going to start talking to Claude to create some things. And so I'm going to hit Shift Tab twice. That's going to put me in what's called plan mode. Plan mode is when I talk to Claude Code and he creates no code. We just think through the thing together. And so what I usually start out with is a prompt to tell him who he is. So I'm going to tell him he's the lead product manager for this project. I want us to show folks how we plan and execute on code. It's a bit meta because we're not creating a product. I'm kind of telling him that I'm using him to do a bit of a demo, but let's see how this goes. So now he's going to go into the project folders and read things, but he's going to see that there isn't anything yet. And so now he's like, hey, can I like read this folder? Because I'm not finding anything. And so yes, I'll say you can go ahead. You can read anything in the folder anytime. So he's like really trying hard to find something. He's like searching and searching and searching. Like, wait a second, like there should be files in here. So let me go ahead and hit escape and stop him real quick. And I'm going to say, Claude, please create a simple HTML file that says hello world in colorful text. I want to click it and open it and show people how quickly you can make something real. Oh, I forgot I'm in plan mode. So now he's going to make a plan about making the colorful HTML file. So he's like, cool, I'll create the hello HTML. I'll include some of these features. Oh, he's going fancy even. Okay. Go ahead, make that whole thing. I don't even need to approve the edits. It's a simple HTML file. Okay, so check it out. Now you can see over here in GitHub, a hello HTML file was created with all this code in it. And so now, if we go grab our Finder and we go over to this project and we open this, boom! Look it. He even made it pulse. Look at this shit. So now imagine, okay? Just imagine that you want to create something real. He created that website in 2 seconds. And he did it better than I asked him to. So, here's my challenge to you. If you made it this far, if you want to see more Claude code, if you want to see me create a whole project, drop your ideas. What's that thing you've been sitting on that you've wanted to see created that has not been created? And I'll tell you what, if it's a good idea, we'll share it. I'll build it in front of you all. It's your idea. We could share it in some way. We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. Drop your ideas down below. If it's something you just want to see me make, drop it below. If it's something that you're dying to actually have created and put into the world, let's make this interesting and fun. Let's use the tools. Let's build some cool shit. Let's create some freedom. Now it's your turn. I want to hear from you. So I hope you enjoyed this. I love Claude. It's absolutely my favorite AI. I believe it's the most useful, most powerful, and I use it every single day, which is why I pay for the Max plan. So much love from me, my friends. That is it. I will see you in the next one.